What's up, everybody? It is the late morning, or for some of you, early afternoon. I'm not going to tell you to have a good one because things are not good right now in the world of the Seahawks. I'm personally a little bit numb to it. I'm not letting it drag me down emotionally or really affect me, but I know that there are some people out there who can't quite do that, and if you're one of those, then it's not good. But I do want to take this video to talk about a little bit of a silver lining right now, and as I discuss this, I know some people watching this video are going to go, well, that's not a silver lining. That's just bad. How is that a silver lining? But now that we're here and that this is happening, it is a silver lining. So let's talk about Geno Smith's contract. It was a very, very good contract. Better than I think most people out there even know. And one of the reasons why it was so good was a lot of it was wrapped up in incentives. And I want to discuss those incentives because now that we're close to the end of the season, we can have a pretty good idea on whether or not this team is likely to have to pay out those incentives to Geno Smith. Now, first of all, a couple things. So, Geno Smith's contract and his incentives are structured in a way that makes it so that the assumption is he doesn't get it. So when you're looking at the details of Geno Smith's contract on Spotrac right now, like I have on screen to my left here, you will see the contract assuming that no incentives are met at any point. And the incentives, if they are hit, will be added onto the roster bonus. So therefore, you can actually have Geno Smith hit the incentives, at least some of them, or even all of them, release him before the league year starts, and he doesn't get paid. That's what made the contract so good. There was ultimate flexibility to get out of it at pretty much any time. However, I firmly believe, I continue to believe this, that there is a 95% chance that Geno Smith will be the starting quarterback next season. To me, if Carroll is here, then Geno's here. I can't see any other way of looking at it. I don't think Carroll's going to move off of Geno after this 1 year that was kind of sort of bad, but wasn't even really that bad. To me, the only way Geno is not here next year is if Pete's gone, we have a new head coach, and that new head coach either really doesn't like Geno or really just wants his own guy. That could happen. Short of that, I am, like I said, pretty much positive that Geno's going to be here, and the odds of Carroll getting out of here are so low that Geno, to me, is just as immovable off this team as Pete. So I think he will be here next year. So, because of everything I just said, this next part actually matters. His incentives, is he going to hit them? So, I made this little spreadsheet just to go over the information. The incentive, where he is right now, what he's on pace to get, will he reach it, and the reward if he does. And as you can see already, he's not going to reach any of them in all likelihood. Let's just go through it for those of you who aren't familiar with the incentives. 4,282 yards passing. He currently has 2,918, and that puts him on pace to, at the end of the regular season, be 3,816, which is almost 500 yards short of his incentive marker. So unless Geno Smith just goes hog wild these last 4 games and throws for a ridiculous number of yards, he's not getting there. Keep in mind, by the way, there's a chance Geno misses the game against the Philadelphia Eagles. Like, Geno could definitely miss that game, and then he's basically looking at an impossible task. So that's 2 million that's not going to get added to his cap hit. 30 passing touchdowns. He's currently got 15. He's on pace for 20. He would have to throw like 4 a game the rest of the season to get to 30. Probably not happening. Even if the offense does go off these last 4 games, which I guess is possible, it's not going to be all Geno throwing touchdowns. There are going to be rushing touchdowns in there. So he's not getting there. We can pretty much put that in pen. That's another 2 million he's not going to get. 69.76 completion percentage. He needed to equal or top that. He's currently at 64.4, which puts him on pace for the same, which means no. He's not going to get there. And that's another 2 million. His QB rating needed to equal or surpass 100.88. He's right now at 89.1, meaning he's on pace. Well, this should be 89.1. I don't know why it rounded. But yeah, 89.1. He's not going to reach it at that rate. Very unlikely he gets there with only 4 games left. That's another $2 million. The final incentive is honestly his best bet. The Seahawks would need to either win 10 games or make the postseason with Geno playing 80% of the snaps. Now, unless he gets hurt again, he's going to play 80% of the snaps. If the Seahawks win out, they get to 10 wins, and if they make the playoffs, then they make the playoffs. As of right now, however, we are at 6 wins, and we're hold the 9th seed. So we're on pace to have 8 wins and still hold that 9th seed, which would not get the incentive, which means he does not get that $2 million as well. So none of those incentives are likely to be met. There is one final incentive, which is basically a $5 million bonus if he hit all 5 incentives. Since he's not going to hit any of them in all likelihood, he's definitely not going to get the one where he hits all of them. So basically, Geno Smith is not going to hit any of his incentives. And that matters if he's going to be the quarterback next year, which I still believe is the case. So that would mean that Geno Smith's cap hit for next year is $31.2 million. To me, Geno Smith is easily worth $31.2 million. I have no doubt in my mind that in the current quarterback market, Geno Smith is worth 32.1 against the cap. And then it's very easy to get out from under that contract in 2025 if you don't like where things are headed or you just want to go in a different direction. If he had hit all of these incentives, which would have been hard, but if he had hit all of them, this cap hit would have gone up to 46.2, which, look, I think most of us would rather have had him hit all these incentives and us have to pay that money. Because, I mean, this would be a really, really good season for a quarterback. We'd probably be in a much better spot. And it probably would be indicative of the fact that the offense is a lot better. For Geno to put up these numbers, Waldron would have to be doing much better. We'd have to be getting much better production out of our tight ends and receivers. The running game would probably have to be working better. And most importantly, the offensive line would be playing at a really high level. So I think we'd all make that trade. But now that we're here, this is actually kind of a good thing. It allows us to keep Geno at a very reasonable cost for 2024, see what's up, try to build things up a little bit around him, and see where we are after 2024. Because again, I know some of you guys don't like Geno very much, and I don't really understand why, but I do understand that some people have that point of view. But I seriously doubt he's going anywhere as long as Pete's here. I can't imagine Pete deciding, I want Geno out of here. I could see another coach maybe deciding that, but not Pete. So the fact that this cap hit is now going to be significantly reduced from where it could have been matters. And he'll have all this stuff, he'll have another chance at in 2024. Like 2023, he's not going to get there almost certainly. It would be incredible if he actually managed to reach any of these incentives at this point. Next year, he's going to get a chance to do it all over again and have those cap hits apply to 2025. And I wish him the best of luck, because if he achieves all of them, that means we probably had a really nice season. But at the end of the day, I will take the $15 million reduction in his cap hit. And I know it's not really a reduction because, like I said, we assumed that he wasn't going to get there anyway. But now that we know he's not going to get there pretty much, it's something that we can at least take a little bit of solace in. See you guys later. Go Hawks.